and I will show you guys later. Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome. And in today's video, I'll be answering all your questions, all about trucks, and there's even some questions about cars. So I'm really looking forward to getting down to the nitty-gritty of the whole business and talk about the situation that we find ourselves in here today. Pretty tough for a lot of people out there. So yeah, we need to get down to this Q&A. Let's hop inside and get to it. So that was just a quick piece of footage I shot around Dublin, just going about my daily business there on the 3rd of April 2020. Very quiet on the roads, and if you're watching this video on the 5th of April 2020, Sunday, we're now on a lockdown for the last 9 days in Ireland. I know there's countries on a lockdown a lot longer than us, but this is the situation in Ireland at the moment. Schools have been closed for over 3 weeks, hotels are closed, pubs are closed. A lot of public places have been closed. So yeah, it's a very hard time for people at the moment. We're trying to keep these trucks on the road and keeping people stocked up. And there are a lot of truck drivers that are not working in various companies, and there are truck drivers that are stuck in countries and they can't get home. So it must be very hard for them. But I don't want to have this video all completely negative, so I'm just going to get into your questions. But yeah, that's the situation in Ireland. I'll try and do a video every week just to let you know, a kind of an update as to what's going on. But I can see things getting even more quieter in the future in transport. But let's just hope that it doesn't come to that. But we need to keep fighting ahead and keep these trucks rolling. But anyway, guys, let's just get into the questions and get things up to a more positive level. Okay, Stavros, it's like a lucky dip in your yard with all the different makes. By the way, who's getting the new S-Series? So you'll have to find out later who's getting the new S-Series. It's up to the boss. He'll make the decision on that one. And then, oh yeah, all the different makes. Okay, I think it's good to have different makes in your fleet. We've got DAF, Scania, we've got Mercedes, we've got Renault, and we have an MAN. So yeah, it's good to have a bit of a variety. I think that if you stick to the one make of truck, are you always getting the best deal when it comes to renewing those trucks? So I mean, some people do it. You've got DHL, they like all the Volvos, and you've got Zellwood, they use a load of DAFs. But it all depends what deal you get from your dealer at the time. But we just like to have the fleet varied, but we haven't had a Volvo in the fleet in over 20 years. So if there's any Volvo salesmen watching this video, why not get down here and try and do a deal on a Volvo? So anyway, let's just move on from that question. Any chance you can track down a Leyland road train to do a video on? I'd love to do a video on a Leyland road train. So if you know somebody who has one, maybe you can get in contact. My email is in the description and we can shoot a video on a Leyland road train. Okay, how truck drivers in Ireland dealing? Yeah, as I said already, a very tough situation. A lot of them are not working. So yeah, very hard and tough, but we need to keep fighting. Anyway, alright, what sort of things do you do to wind down, spare time at your weekends? This is what I do. This is it, guys. So videos for YouTube, edit them, upload them, and yeah, just do Instagram. This is what I do in my spare time. Any interest in motorsport? If so, which one? Now, I used to have a big interest in Formula 1 back in the mid-90s, but when all of the big characters left Formula 1, my interest just left with them. So I do like rallying. I do go to the historic rally in Killarney every year. I like that rally a lot. But rallying is very big in Ireland. As you can imagine, there will be rallies cancelled because of this whole situation. So how long have you been creating videos? Well, since 1988. That's when I bought my first video camera. And I was shooting like loads of different things. I remember shooting an old music video in our old warehouse, only just down the road here, and we were using the trucks in the background for flashing lights, and it was just a small little group, but I don't even know where half of this footage is, guys. I've got stuff on VHS tapes. I don't even know where half the footage is, like weddings, school performances. Yeah, I used to do a lot of that back in the day. Anyway, what is it really like to be a truck driver in Ireland? The pay and conditions, would you recommend getting into the industry at the moment? So I wouldn't recommend getting into the industry right now. If you're somebody that wants to start a freight company, definitely don't do it now. As regards getting into the business, pay and conditions, well, obviously you have to shop around. What are your pay and conditions in various freight companies? Because remember, some of them you'll be sleeping in that bed for an awful long time. Some of them you won't. Some of them have short hours, some of them have long hours, but in any case you will be doing long hours. So if you're somebody that likes 9 to 5, forget about being a truck driver. Just don't take it up. But I mean, like, pay, you got to shop around. Some of them pay well, some of them don't. Just find out for yourself who's paying the best. Have you been truck driving across Europe? No, I don't truck drive in Europe. It's just all around Ireland. I have 2 questions. What's your favourite truck film? And do a video on a Foden Alpha. Well, the favourite truck film would be, obviously, Convoy. Everyone knows that film. And, oh yeah, the Foden Alpha. I know somebody that has one of them. A man called Douglas Rankin, the editor of Truck and Driver magazine in the UK. He's got a Foden Alpha. So, yeah, maybe Dougie can help me out and we do a video on that truck. His one has the cat engine in it. So, okay, what trucks are in your fleet? Well, I've already explained that. The new S is coming, and yeah, varied fleet, as I've explained already. Okay, when's Scania bringing out the more powerful V8? Well, we don't know. Is it going to happen this year? I doubt it's going to happen this year now. The new flagship Scania, so it could be held off until next year. So we just don't know how long this is going to go on for. What are the plans for the old Civic? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. You're the only one that asked about my old Civic. Now, some of you will know I bought a Civic there. It's a 40-year-old Civic. I bought it not so long ago. It's in storage at the moment. And my plans are just to go to classic car shows, just enjoy the car. I wanted to buy a car from the 80s anyway. I'm a bit of an 80s fan. I always listen to 80s music. So yeah, I just bought it for a bit of nostalgia. But there are issues with the car that I need to get rectified and fixed. And yeah, so when all that's done, I'll really be enjoying that car. Okay, I did get a good few questions in from Instagram. Thanks to all my Instagram followers. Now, this question, I'll probably be getting asked this question as long as I'm going to be on YouTube. And it is, how did you come up with the name? Yeah, well, it's not made up. It is my actual real name. Stavros is my name, guys. I'm not Greek. I'm not from Greece. I have no connections to Greece. My parents are not Greek. Their parents were not Greek. There's no connection to Greece, guys. It's just a name. My younger brother is called Carlos. I have 3 older brothers, Peter, Morris and Rory Jr. And I have a sister, of course, Andrena. And she was in a video before. So anyway, that is the situation as to how I came up with my name. My real name is Stavros, okay? Anyway, what's your favourite truck review you have ever done? Well, that would have to be in Sweden when I drove the S730, the 8x4, fully loaded, all around Scania's demo centre. Fully loaded at 70 tonne. I really liked shooting that video. Do you have a owned truck? If you have, can you create... No, I don't own a truck at all. These are all company trucks. I don't own one, but I would like to own a classic truck at some stage. What is your favourite truck? There you go. Well, I would love to have a Volvo F16 from 1988. That's a classic truck I would really like to have. And why? Why that truck, you may ask? Well, because 32 years ago, when I bought my first video camera, I shot a video down in McCarthy Commercials in Watergrass Hill, and they had a brand new F16 Volvo, 470 horsepower. Now, you got to remember, this was the most powerful truck in Europe at that time. The F16 came out in 87. I shot that truck in 88, 32 years ago, and like an idiot, I can't find the tape. It's gone. So I've got loads of footage on tapes at home, VHS, and I need to get it digitized and onto a disc and to be able to share some of it with you guys. But as regards that footage, I've no idea where it is. But I do have the footage from the diesel protest from the year 2000 in Ireland. Some of you Irish drivers will remember that, 20 years ago. So I'll be hoping to get that digitized and share that on the channel. In September 2020, I'll share it because I want to have it for kind of like the 20-year anniversary of that day. Now, that was a very, very bizarre day in Ireland. Yeah, some of you drivers will remember that. Okay, which brand is generally preferred by drivers and company owners? Well, company owners, as I said already, a lot of them like to stick to one brand. But, I mean, preferred, it could be anything. It could be DAF, Volvo, Scania, Mercedes. It could be any sort of brand. Is there any one particular brand that everyone loves? I don't know. But, yeah, it's all varied. Do a video on a 1993 143 M450. If you have one, or if you know someone that has one, the email is below. Get in contact, I'll shoot a video on it. Are you going to show us when you are delivering cargo? Well, that's a very tricky thing to do. I mean, you could do a couple of videos delivering cargo to people that allow you to video in yards, but a lot of places we go into, they take your phone off you and you can't video in around their premises. Maybe I can do a couple of videos on it, who knows, but it's something that will become very boring very quickly. If I were to do that on a daily basis, you would get bored very, very quickly. So I'll try and stick to what I'm doing, just truck reviews, going to truck shows, car shows. So that's what I'll continue to do. Anyway, what would you like your next truck to be? A Volvo F16 from 1988. So, will you be doing Cannonball Ireland? It says Cannonball Run here. Cannonball Ireland, if it's not cancelled. I would love to do it. But I don't think we will be doing it this year. The Assist Tech fire engine, I'm not sure will it be taking part this year. It's all kind of up in the air at the moment with this whole situation we find ourselves in. So, who knows whether it's going to go ahead or not. I've no idea. But whether we're going to take part or not, I don't know. I really don't know at this stage. What is your favourite Toyota? Probably a 2000 GT from the 60s. I'd also like a Lexus. They're Toyotas. The Lexus LS400 from 1989, 1990. I'd really like one of them as well. Anyway, any advice for a 14-year-old wanting to be a lorry driver after leaving school? Go for it. Be the lorry driver. We need you. We need good drivers. So I'd also say go for your HAS license. Yeah, so I mean, look, if it's down to a company looking for drivers and it's down to two drivers and one has a HAZChem license and one doesn't, obviously they're going to take the driver that has the hazardous chemicals license. So go for that. Go and get your truck driving license and hit the road, man. Hit the road. Just be prepared for a lot of hours. What is your favourite British truck make? Right there in front of me. That DAF, the XF. So I do like the DAF. Oh yeah, and by the way, did any of you see the Lippy leaks? They leaked a photo of the new XF. So yeah, the rumours are true. There's a new XF coming. And yeah, they're testing it at the moment. And that has been spotted. And there has been photos put up online. Anyway, what is your favourite truck? Yeah, probably the F16 from 88. So, oh yeah, a question here. FH16 or VNL, Scania TRS. So the F16 or VNL, well, if I was driving in the States, obviously I'd love the VNL because it has the bigger sleeper. But in Ireland, it would have to be the FH16. I'd prefer that. Scania TRS, I'd prefer the S because you still have the flat floor. Why bother with the big nose out the front when you don't need it? And yeah, I prefer the S over the T, especially with some of the places we're expected to get into in Ireland. The yards, very awkward yards. Anyway, would you test drive an ERF, ECX, EC? Yeah, I really would. If you know anyone that has them, get in contact, email below, and I'll shoot a video on it. Model lorry video in the future. I'd really love to shoot another video of a model truck collection. If you know of anyone that has a big model truck collection, get in contact and I'd shoot a video of it, no problem. I was actually talking to the owner of Ireland's, what I think is Ireland's best model truck collection. I was talking to him earlier today actually, and he has added trucks to his model truck collection, so he's adding the whole time and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But some of you would have already seen that video. What a collection, just incredible. Anyway, which truck that you have driven ever impressed you with the most new feature? So I would have to say the MAN. The new MAN, when I was driving it, it has this great feature where the retarder, okay, you just have to press it once and hold it and it goes into its most powerful setting in the retarder. So there's none of this clicking it down 5 stages. It's just one click, hold, and you're straight down to the most powerful setting. So I do like that feature, and I also like the switches at the bottom of the door as well. I think they're a great idea. Anyway, moving on, which is your favorite Scania from the from the 80s or 90s? So I'd have to say probably the Scania Centurion from the 90s. Yeah, they're a bit of a collector's truck, aren't they? What is your opinion on Truckfest Peterborough being postponed, and are you going to it? I will definitely be going to it if it's going ahead. Now, Peterborough has been postponed to the end of August. Truckfest Scotland is at the beginning of August. So, yeah, I'll be definitely looking forward to both those events. And don't forget, guys, I have a discount code for Truckfest. It's Stavros10, and you'll get 10% off the purchase price of your tickets. So go ahead, go online and get your discount. And thanks for Truckfest for giving me that. Okay, moving on. Don't know if anyone can help me here. These guys are trying to start a truck run for cancer. So, yeah, there's a lot involved in truck runs. It's not as easy as you think. You've got to get freight companies involved, and you've also got to get the police involved, the Gardaí, and yeah, you've got to get stewards. It's not easy organising a truck run, so think long and hard about it before you decide to take it on. Why some automatic transmission trucks have a clutch, how it works. Now, of course, Scania have the clutch on demand system, and it's used more or less just for heavy loads. If you're heavily laden, say for instance you got an 8x4 and you had 70 ton and you want to set off nice and slowly, it's nice to have your clutch on demand, even though it is an automated gearbox. But yeah, that's more or less what it's used for, just for setting off nice and slow with heavy loads on board. Why did you choose to become a lorry driver? Because this is my father's business. He runs the business. My 2 brothers also run the business, and yeah, this is it. We're in the transport business, so you could say all my life. Anyway, you a tramper or work days? No, I normally work days. I use the bed the odd time. I did sleep in it last night and last week, but it's handy to have the bed just for, you know, emergency situations, or if you want to do, if you want to be at a place the night before, just to be there first thing in the morning. It's nice to have your bed to do that. So, moving on. Opinions on driver's CPC. For the new drivers, you could probably argue for it, for new drivers coming up through the ranks. But for the older drivers, you know, drivers that are behind the wheel for like 20, 30, 40 years, do they really need to be sitting down for 7 hours listening to somebody talking about what they already know? I don't think so. So yeah, I think there should be like an age cap on it where you don't have to do your CPC. But I mean, look, don't get me started on that. It's just, I find it hard to stay awake during CPCs, okay? Anyway, how long have you been lorry drinking? I don't drink and drive. Lorry driving, well, you could say probably since 1991, when I was driving a small little Iveco rigid truck. I think it was only 16 foot long, you know. So, yeah, you could maybe say from 1991. I've been driving Arctics for 20 years and rigid trucks for 9 years. So, how long are you with Orient? All my life, as I said. Anyway, what's your favourite truck, the best thing about it, and why is it your favourite truck? Probably the the Volvo F16 from '88. And it has to be in Volvo's launch livery, of course. I'd really love to do a video on that, and I'd love to own one as a kind of a classic truck as well. Anyway, what's the best truck you've ever reviewed? Probably the S730, the 8x4, driving around Scania's test centre in Sweden. Any suggestions, advice for a new HGV vlogger starting out? Yeah, try not to bore the viewers. I hope none of you are bored now watching this video. Anyway, yeah, you need to keep the footage varied. Like, go to truck shows, go to anything to do with trucks, whether it be a truck run, truck show, and try not to do daily vlogs of you driving the truck, because people will get bored of that very quick. And if you have any other interests outside of trucks, do 1 or 2 videos of that interest. I've got big interest in cars, so there will always be a car video on the channel every now and again. So just do that if you can. Okay, so why did you become a trucker? Because it's a family business. Love your videos. Okay, anything else? How long do the full tour and test drive videos take? An awful lot longer than people think. When I arrive at a dealer, they think, oh, it's only going to take a couple of hours. No, it takes an awful lot longer than that. And if there's a feature on the truck that I'm not sure about, I will spend time reading down through the manual to find out about that feature. Because I just like to know all the ins and outs of the truck. So that's what I'll do when I arrive. I've got to walk around, see what's new on the truck, what's worth mentioning and going down through. And yeah, it takes an awful lot longer than people think. And then you've got to go home, edit the video, and do all your bits and pieces after the video goes up. So yeah, there's a lot of time involved in it. It's not as easy as people think. If you had to live, have an actual converted truck as a mobile home, what would you pick? It'd probably be an old classic truck. Maybe an old Iveco Turbostar, or an old Scania Centurion, or the F16 as I talked about. I'd love to convert an old truck like that if I was converting one to a mobile home. Okay, what do you prefer, new gen Scania or old gen? New gen, of course. Comfortable, quieter, quicker gear changes, more interior space. If it's the S, of course, yeah, go for the new gen. Will you make a report on the Iveco SWay? I'd love to make a report on it. Now, the Iveco SWay was supposed to make its debut at the Commercial Vehicle Show in Birmingham at the NEC. So that event has been cancelled. But hopefully I will get to drive this truck at some stage, the Iveco SWay. I'd really like to drive an Iveco Turbostar as well, if you know somebody that has one. Oh, hang on, there was somebody asking about AdBlue. So let's go out and talk more about AdBlue. So this is your tank of AdBlue. Now it all depends what way you want it delivered to your fleet. Here we have an IBC, 1,000 litres. Some people get it at petrol stations. Some people get it delivered in big tanks in bulk. But yeah, we just use the AdBlue tank here. And let me just pour a small bit in for you and just give you a look. There is just a slight tint of blue. So I'm going to drink some. I'm not going to drink any of it. What I am going to do is just sprinkle a small bit on my shoes, okay? So yeah, I'll just take off my shoe, okay? So I'm going to sprinkle a small bit on my shoe, all right? And I will show you guys later what happens to your shoe with AdBlue, okay? So yeah, just a small little bit there. And we'll see what happens. So that's basically what AdBlue is for. It's just for cutting down in emissions. It's sprayed into the exhaust system at various intervals just to cut emissions. So AdBlue has been with us now since 2009, I think. So yeah, we're a long time using AdBlue, but some of the trucks we have in the fleet here still have no AdBlue in them. So we'll keep running them for as long as possible. So just before I wrap it up, I know some of you were wondering what happened to the shoes when I sprinkled the AdBlue on them. Well, this is what happened to them. They turned all with white stains all around them, look. But it's pretty harmless, it does wash off, so it's not really an issue with the shoes, guys. Try not to knock the camera. But I'm gonna leave you all there, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you all again next weekend for another video. Take care, guys. Thanks. Cheers! 2. Any chance of you can get a truck down? Somewhat informative as to